Today we're going to talk about Mary, the mother of Jesus. And I want to start with one of the readings that you'll have today from the book of Luke. It's the first chapter, verse 45. And it says, "Blessed is she who believed that there would be a fulfillment of what had been spoken to her by the Lord." Blessed is she who believed that God would fulfill his word for her. Blessed is she who believed. I absolutely love that. You know how I said during the first devotional that, the Christmas story is something that we've read over and over and over again. And sometimes we get used to the story, So I remember one time I was reading through Luke 1, doing a devotional, and I came to that verse and it just kind of popped out at me. Blessed is she who believed God. Blessed is she who believed God could use her. Blessed is she. And I want to talk about that about Mary today. So let's dig into the story of Mary. Mary was a teenage girl who was engaged to be married. She was a virgin, and she gets a very special visitor, right? The angel Gabriel comes to see her and tells her that God has chosen her for a very special role. She is going to be the mother of Jesus, the Messiah. And she asked, how can this happen when I'm a virgin? And the angel tells her that the Holy Spirit would hover over her and that she would conceive, and the child that would grow inside of her was going to be Jesus, the Messiah. He was going to be named Emmanuel, God with us. So she hears this amazing message, and she just says, I am a bondslave of the Lord. May it be done to me according to what you've said, right? So she accepts this incredible plan that God has for her. It had to be a little scary. I mean, we look at it now and we think how amazing, but here's a teenage girl who is going to end up inexplicably pregnant. How is she going to explain this to her family? How is she going to explain this to her betrothed? Are they going to believe her? Is she going to be alone in this process? We don't know any of that. And quite frankly, Mary doesn't know this either. But she knows God has a plan for her. It's a huge plan, and she's taking it in and she's saying yes to it, right? So right after she says that, the angel Gabriel says something to her that I think is just so amazing. He basically gives her the news that Elizabeth, her cousin, who is way older than her, Elizabeth probably would be in her 60s, maybe older, was pregnant, right? And I love that the angel tells her that, because remember how I said before that God is a huge God and he has these huge world plans, but he's also a very personal God. And he tells Mary this through the angel to let her know that, hey, there's someone you can confide in. There's someone who understands what you're going through and can help you, right? So immediately Mary drops everything and she goes to see Elizabeth. And I want to stop here for a second and bring this into our daily lives. God always sets us up with people that can help us. He surrounds us with people that know what we're going through as a Christian, right? That's why fellowship is so important, and that's why church is so important, because we come into contact with people that are on the same walk that we are and can understand the same things that we go through. Sometimes we may have friends that don't have the same belief system that we have, may not have the same type of relationship with Jesus, and they may not understand some of the struggles that we go through. But here, God chose Elizabeth as a confidant and as a friend to Mary through this process, the same way that he does for us. So be on the lookout for those people that God brings into your life that can be that role of Elizabeth for you. All right, so now let's go on to the story of what happens to Mary, right? So Mary goes and she spends time with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, the moment Mary walks in, now remember, Elizabeth is pregnant with John the Baptist. The moment Mary walks in, the Holy Spirit just lets John the Baptist and Elizabeth know that Mary is the mother of the Messiah, and Elizabeth greets her with that. And that just fills Mary's heart with just this beautiful song, that she goes on to say, and it's in the devotional where she says, that the Lord has done mighty things for her, I love this because she walks in and immediately Elizabeth confirms what God is doing in Mary's life. Here to the outside world, Mary is still just a teenage girl. They don't know what's happened. But inside of Mary already is growing the life of Jesus. And Elizabeth, through the Holy Spirit, recognizes that, So I hope that encourages you, because we are all called to be like Mary. In the same way, well, not exactly the same way, but in the way that the Holy Spirit visited Mary and imparted the life of Jesus into us, because Jesus is inside of us. He's the hope of glory, and he's inside of us already. And part of our life as a Christian is to let his life show up and be seen, So when he first comes into our life, it's kind of small and we may not see the changes, but another person can speak into our life and see what God is doing in us. So I hope this encourages you today to know that as amazing a role as Mary had in the life of Jesus, we all have that same role of carrying the life of Jesus inside of us and letting other people see it, to be like Mary, who said, "May it be done with me according to the Lord," and may we be blessed to believe that God will honor what he's told us that he's going to do for us. And let's believe in his promises to us today. Thank you.